guys, and welcome back to my channel. A while ago I made a video on my journey with self-love and how it is related with confidence. And after that video I let it go. I switched to other things, to other topics, but I kept stumbling upon topics that relate to self-love. And at first I didn't really think of it that way, but then the more I looked into it, the more I saw the relationship. And they were things related to our social life, to our body, to our health, to our mind, and they were like videos on their own. They weren't related to self-love. It was someone else's story, and I was watching a lot of videos on many topics, and then something in my mind switched and I saw that all of these are related to self-love. And I kept thinking about it, and I started relating these topics to myself, to my journey, and slowly I came up with so many ideas, and I decided to turn this into a series. So I wanted to relate the topic of self-love to many areas in our lives. And one thing that I've noticed when I search for self-confidence, self-love, how to take care of yourself, I come across things like it's important to buy yourself flowers, to schedule massages, it's important to take care of your skin, exfoliate, groom yourself, or like the way you dress. And although I find this very important and it is useful, at the same time it's not the essence, it's not the foundation. So I decided to make a playlist and start with the basics and then touch on other things such as grooming and social life. So I divided this into separate playlists. So each one will hopefully have many other videos related to self-love. And I really felt the urge to concentrate on this topic on my channel because one of the 3 words that I related my channel with is self-care. So it's mindfulness, success, and self-care. And self-care is essentially self-love. And I wanted to expand on this topic. So this video I will start with the relationship of self-love and our minds. And this is the essence. For me, this is the foundation. This is the place where I wanted to start with. So, self-love and the mind. In this video, I have 10 tips and habits that you need to cultivate in order to achieve self-love from within. So, the first thing is to define your beliefs and values. And this is something that you learn over time. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna have so many lessons in your life and so many experiences that will guide you to your beliefs and values. So you will need to take advantage of these experiences, take a moment and question what did you learn from them and what are your beliefs. So sometimes we make a mistake and we're like, I'm not supposed to do that. I wasn't supposed to do that, or I don't feel comfortable doing that. And write it down or put it out there somewhere where you can see it or where you can check it every now and then that this is something that you'd rather not do, that you'd rather not repeat again. So this could be related to you or related to your relationship with others or related to so many things. We can do that by categorizing our lives and then put a certain belief and value related to each area of our life. Number 2 is to surround yourself with good ideas. Now, this might come from many sources. For example, books, videos on YouTube, podcasts, talks like TED Talks, or even people around you. So be surrounded with ideas. This could be in the form of reading, having conversations, or listening to someone. Number 3 is know what you want and how to express it. And this is related to the first tip, which is define your values and your beliefs. So after you've known what you want, it might be a desire, it might be a value, or it might be something that you want to buy or something that you want to get. Know essentially what it is that you want in your relationship, in any area of your life, and then know how to express it, how to communicate it with someone else if it is related to other people. So essentially, we need to let other people know our beliefs, our values, our desires, our ideas, so that they connect with us. more, and at the same time we set boundaries and we set limits and we know what we want. Now, how do we express our desires? This is something that I'm still learning. This is something that has so many parts, and one of it is language, is communication. And I know that some people out there, they study communication and they know how to talk, they know how to get their message come across, and they know how to make their message come across in a well-formulated sentence. This could be like in a presentation or in an area where you have to present your ideas in sentences that are well constructed. But this could be in a professional setting. But in everyday life, even those people that have studied communication or that have studied politics, they might make mistakes in their communication during their everyday life. So one area that you could pay attention to in order to learn how to communicate your ideas and how to express them is listen to yourself while talking. Be mindful of your words and see when you are complaining about something. So look at your complaints and study them. So when you are complaining about something, in each complaint lies a desire. So pay attention to your complaints and see what do you want. When we are talking to our significant other, our family members, our friends, we get so emotional and our idea just passes by. And we think that we are communicating what we want, but in effect what we're doing is we are just letting our emotions build up, and the idea would just not come across and it will not be understood. So after you have been complaining about something for a long time, stand back and then look at it and just ask yourself, what is it that you really want? Is it a desire? Is it a want? Is it a need? And learn from this complaint to know this desire and to express it in a better way. So this is how you know your beliefs, values, and desires, and you take this complaining and you switch it to expressing. Number 5, and this is a big one for me, is to value your future more than your fears. And this is something easier said than done, I know, but if there is something that you really want, if there's something that you're looking forward to, we might have anxiety, we might have negative beliefs associated with it, we might have phobias. Look at what you want and see whether you value it, more than your fear of it, or fear of failure, or the anxiety that comes along with it. And if your anxiety is stronger than the thing that you value, maybe you need to reevaluate what you're looking for or what you are looking to achieve. So, do you value the program of study that you are in right now? If you have anxiety while you're studying, is your anxiety greater than your career choice or vice versa? And this is how you would learn more about yourself, and this is how you love yourself from inside out. You love your decisions, you love your values, and you let go of fears. In the same token, number 6 is prioritize your mental health. Now, we all have fears. We might have anxiety. Some of us might have other mental health issues or stories and emotions that we need to share and we need to learn from. So I really suggest that you make your mental health a priority, and I think we will get to a point where going to a therapist is no longer seen as going to a therapist. It's seen as just bettering your life and just improving overall. So I don't think there's anything wrong with going to a mental health professional to discuss anything, any idea that you have regarding your job, regarding your relationships, regarding your parents, regarding your childhood. If there is any idea that keeps on playing in your mind, if you have fears, if you have anxiety, if you suffered from depression, or if you are just looking for bettering yourself, then make your mental health a priority and check with counselors and therapists. Number 7 is be open to change, to trying new things, and to learn. So each experience in our life, each relationship would teach us something. So this could be your experiences, this could be your relationship. In every experience that you have lies a lesson. And this could be in form of almonds, and you could use it as a metaphor or as not a realistic thing, but like as a story to learn from. But in every experience there is a lesson that is learned, and it comes in a form of like a signal or a message or a like, hey, pay attention to this. And if you do pay attention, you learn from it, and you learn from it very quickly. Of course, our emotions might be so built up to the point that we don't really see the lesson right away, or not necessarily the lesson. It might not be like a set lesson, but it's something personal. So pay attention to these signs, to these signals, and see what did you do wrong, what happened, and learn from them. Because if you don't do that, you might realize that you will keep on doing the same mistakes over and over again. For example, going to abusive relationships over and over again, or breaking up so many times that you don't know whose fault is it. And maybe we should just take a step back and take responsibility. Listen or see those signs, those lessons, and take them, embrace them, and try to change. Because if you keep on blaming other people for your mistakes, if you keep on living life in a fun way without really taking care of yourself, without really learning anything, then you will make so many mistakes, and it will come to a point where it either jeopardizes your health, your physical health, your mental health, or your emotional well-being. And this is something we really need to pay attention to. Number 8 is to meditate. And I know many people are now talking about meditation, and it used to be associated with spiritual things, and you can associate it with spiritual things if you want, but it's much more simpler than this. You don't have to associate it with religion or spirituality. In fact, meditation is just to concentrate on the moment, and it really helps with your executive functioning. It really emphasizes and strengthens your planning strategies, your focusing strategies, your logical reasoning. It is so great because you are focusing on one thing, you are living the moment, and you are not multitasking at all. You are just in one moment, and you are in a flow. And this is something I think we all want to achieve, at least in one area of our lives. Number 9 is to be mindful of our actions and decisions. So when we are mindful in the moment, we end up doing the right choice. We end up doing the right action. But you might not be mindful in the moment, but you might be aware of it later on and learn from it. But essentially, the goal here is to be mindful of each thing that you say, each thing that you do. And in this way, you don't make much mistakes. Or the mistakes that you do is not mistakes of inattention, but mistakes of ignorance. And mistakes of ignorance are much more forgivable for me, because if you don't know something, well, you don't know it. There's no other way you could have done something different. But if you are not paying attention, then this is something that you should own, and this is something that you should improve and be mindful of in order not to make this mistake again. And lastly, give yourself time to grow and be patient with yourself. All these things that I've mentioned before seem so simple, but they are so difficult to achieve like this. So with time, these are habits that you can cultivate, and you might get to a point where you are like at an old age and this is where you cultivated these habits, or it could be earlier on. But this is something worth trying. This is something worth aiming for. So be patient, and it will come. If you are doing small steps, if you are mindful and aware of everything that you do, if you catch yourself doing something and then you become mindful of it, this is how you change, and this is how you improve. So don't be hard on yourself. This is something that I do a lot. If I made a mistake, I am super harsh on myself, and this is something I will talk about in one of my other videos, other playlists, and about how you talk to yourself. So yeah, don't be harsh on yourself, be patient, and you will change, you will grow. So this is my first video, or actually my second video on this playlist. If you want to see my journey with self-love, you can watch the video right here. And look out for other videos and other playlists related to this topic. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't hesitate to give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't, or you think I'm missing something, or I'm talking about something I'm not knowledgeable about, it's okay, you can give me a thumbs down or leave your comments on how I can improve. Or if you have any questions, you can also leave them in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button so you can know of every video that I make. So if you decide not to watch, it would be based on your decision and not your ignorance. And I will see you next week. May you have a clutter-free life.